Hello, everyone. So today we will be speaking to Vikram from Mayfield, India. And so, Vikram, why don't you give us a brief introduction about yourself?
Sure thing. Let me introduce our firm Mayfield first. Mayfield's been around since 1969. So about 55 years investing in US markets as well as globally, investing in technology first companies. We've probably invested in more than 600 companies, and had more than 120 IPOs, the 200 M&As, the way our companies have exited. But I think most importantly, we've worked with some very interesting entrepreneurs over the last 5 decades. And that's the incredible journey for a VC as well, to have an opportunity to work with great entrepreneurs and help build long-lasting enterprises.
Great.
Mayfield in India has been around for 18 years. My business partner and I built Mayfield India from 2007 till date. We manage a little under $250 million, investing in startups in India that make a difference.
Great. And so, my first question is, what are some roles and functions in a venture capital firm that could appeal to undergrad students?
Excellent. Um, Typically, we do see undergrad students come join us for a couple of years. We have an analyst development program where they come join us for a couple of years, work with us, get some experience, and then go back for their business school. We've seen a lot of that over the last 2 decades. But if you step back, what does a venture capital firm do? It invests in companies, helps build new companies in new industries, and eventually exit them. So what you really need is analysts who are analyzing industries top down, mapping the markets for us, getting us data. Data can be dirty. It's very important to get authentic data about consumer trends or whatever other trends that influence the target sector we are focused on. So we are very top down in approach, and therefore analysts play a very, very important role in keeping us at the partner level intelligent. Again, coming back above that, analysts, there are associates, then there are typically principals or what we call junior partners, and then there are the partners. So very flat organizations. Venture capitals firms are not like conventional corporate organizations with tons of functions to cater to. As a result of this, there's a lot of hierarchy. We are very flat. Typically, I'd work with a couple of analysts day in, day out. Everyone has access to everyone. Everyone has a very important role to play. So the hierarchy really doesn't matter.
Okay. And so, another big question for students is, what core skills should they start building to succeed in a private equity or venture capital? And are there any specific coursework or experiences that really appeal to firms? And how can they prepare themselves to stand out, essentially?
Right. I think I'm going to go back to the core skill required is being analytical. Your ability to recognize patterns. I think pattern recognition is the very core of being a great VC. And typically we find students who gain some experience in the market, some vertical experience, industry experience, coming out of startups, coming out of business consulting firms, where they've spent a couple of years going up the learning curve on understanding a particular industry. For example, AI, which seems to be quite the buzzword of late, but has been around for a few years. There's some very bright analysts that have followed trends and patterns in artificial intelligence. And now, I've specialized in understanding how AI is getting applied to newer and newer industry verticals. I mean, I, for one, am very fascinated by the application of AI in financial services. So again, it's about picking courses ranging from economics to econometrics or whatever else you have, which allows you to slice and dice data as a young analyst or a first year analyst. Understanding how to use that data, how to create patterns out of it, and understand where the ball is going. I think that's the most crucial task on hand for young analysts.
Great. And so, how would you describe the differences between working at a startup firm and at a venture capital or private equity firm?
That's a great question. Think of it as two sides of a coin. Uh, and the reason I say that is both, whether you're working at a startup or whether you're working at a venture capital firm, your activity is very common. You're building, a company from a fledgling to a fully grown up company that's ready to go public eventually. And I think both are equally important in terms of experience. In fact, I would encourage those who want to work in venture capital to first get some real experience, a good 3 to 5 years in a couple of startups where you are exposed to processes, operational processes, I mean, where you're exposed to business development, where you understand client needs by meeting clients regularly, where you understand how organization is built, hiring people, bringing in, that exposure to that actually working in a startup makes you a better VC. I'm going to take two more minutes on this point, and it's really important for people. Not necessary for people who want to join the venture capital circuit to come out of financial services like investment banking. No, that gives you a very small myopic view into the work for some startups, understand what is happening in the industry. And that really trains you better to look for such startups in the future once you become a VC.
Yeah.
So it's very important firsthand to understand what's happening. In fact, we rarely have brought in analysts who have been from investment banking or financial services. Much prefer bringing in graduates from either IIT, engineering graduates who worked in the field, who worked for startups, who could have worked on the tech side of things, or could have worked on the financial things, and that experience is invaluable. If they work there, they know what to look for when they're picking those stocks later.
Yeah, because they have practical experience, right?
Because they know they've been on the other side of the fence. When they come on our side of the fence, they exactly know what creates value and what doesn't because they've worked in that environment for 4 or 5 years. And if you worked for a financial services firm for 4 or 5 years, you have deal exposure. You don't have operational exposure. There's a big difference there.
I definitely think that's a very valid point, and I had never looked at it that way. And
Look at most of the venture capitalists on the West Coast in the US, Silicon Valley. You'll never find someone from investment banking being picked over there. You'll always find someone who's done some depth of work in a Google or a Facebook or Nvidia or whatever. Because they have that absolutely fine experience in terms of getting down into the depth of things and getting it right.
so, what are some emerging trends in investment and business that undergrads and students should start paying attention to break into venture capital or private equity?
So I'll try answering that question more from an industry research top-down standpoint. I think, like I said earlier, artificial intelligence, while it's been a buzzword, it's a reality today. And if students can focus on not AI as a horizontal, but AI as a vertical place to look at, what I mean by that is it's not just a search engine, a general search engine, a better search engine than a Google out there. It is actually a collaborative tool. So, for example, if you are working in financial services, how does AI help you build a better portfolio? How does AI help you pick stocks better? How does AI help you understand the changing face of certain industries? Which industries are going to come in vogue? Which industries are not going to do necessarily well? How do you put data sets together to help you recognize patterns better and eventually pick stocks or bonds or whatever you might be involved in? So I think students would do well trying to understand these newer technologies and thereby applications of that in the industry, which kind of sets them apart and helps them identify newer investment destinations in terms of startups. We have a lot of, I must add over here, some of the smartest people we've hired have usually our interview process has been they've come and presented to us about their perspective on a new technology or a new industry or a new space and said, hey, listen, this is what we've studied, this is what we understand, we think this is the way to go about executing our investment plan in these areas. So I think students have also taken it to the next level using their experience, communication skills, original thought processes about newer spaces. So it's a pretty interesting time for everyone.